And welcome to the last Scratch Challenge number 10. So again, let's start by showing you guys the end product. And this Scratch Challenge, you're going to learn how to design your own choose your own adventure game. So here's a project that I found by looking around Scratch that somebody else has made. Welcome to your choose your own adventure story. Should we go to the moon or to the park? We'll go to the moon. I added a nice little animation here of a rocket ship blasting off to the moon. Blast off. Change the background, and they have the rocket ship land on the moon. Should I eat my sandwich? This seems like a trick question to me. If we eat a sandwich on the moon, we probably will not do well because we have to take off our spacesuit. So I'm going to assume that this is a no answer. I'm just going to type letter N for no. They should probably give better instructions here. So I type letter N, nothing happens. So a lot of these games, if you type the wrong answer, it kind of stops dead because it didn't expect that answer. So let's go with the moon again. This time I'll type the word yes instead of the letter Y. Let's see if we can get a different response. But with these games, it's very important that you give the users very direct instructions about what you want to be entered. So let's try the word no. And that's the end of it. So we got the end. The other option for us in this game is to, instead of going to the moon, we can go to the park.
Okay, yeah.
So we go to the park. Birds, chili. Should we go home? I'm going to go with a no. Stay and have fun at the park. Add a little animation of Scratch the Cat turning blue and freezing, and saying I froze. And that's the end. So you get the idea with the Choose Your Own Adventure game. In designing a Choose Your Own Adventure game or story, it's really important that you do some planning. So one thing I've designed and made for you folks is a planner for your Choose Your Own Adventure story. So it's important to use this for brainstorming. So here's where you're going to write down what background you're going to use, what sprites you're going to use, what text or other animations might be happening you can put in here. With a Choose Your Own Adventure game, there's always going to need to be choices. So you're going to have a choice. Here's the two results of your choices. And then what happens after the user makes their choice? So this could be an animation, background change, more text, and then more choices. What happens after those choices? And I only stopped here, but you can keep making this more and more complex as you go. I've given you some options. You should have choices, an action, and then there's also the game over possibility. Animation we're going to do today, I've taken some time and I've done some planning. So my story starts here. We're going to start with the brick wall background, and I'll use the Ryan sprite, which looks like that guy there. You don't have to draw him out, but I thought it'd just be helpful that I drew that guy out. Start by welcoming the user to the game, use a say. Then a choice, do you want to go to the ocean or the desert? If they type the letter O, this is what's going to happen. If they choose the letter D, this is what's going to happen. So for the letter O, we'll change the background to underwater and say, wow, I love the ocean. So you get the idea of how you can use this to plan. You can see in my brainstorming, I scratched out work and kind of reselected things. So I'm going to use this to guide my story building and as we go along. So there's my brainstorming. So here we go. Here's our fresh story. So the first thing I said we would use is for our backdrop. I said we would use the brick wall 2. So there's our brick wall 2. And then I said for the sprite, I would use that yellow guy that I like to use. So there's Ryan, the sprite. Don't need Scratchy the Cat. So we'll delete that guy. I'm also going to just pull him down here. Shrink him down just a bit. Let's just do that a little bit more reasonable. There we go. So that's a good size there. So now let's get this thing set up. Let's start with a when flag clicked. So I'll start it on, and then we'll do a say. And for our thing, we'll do a, well, hello there. Welcome to my Choose Your Own Adventure game. Show that for 2 seconds. Then we'll bring another say. We'll do, would you like to go to the ocean or the desert? So here's the choice. So we introduce from over here. Here's the choice. Do you want to go to the ocean or the desert? So we need to be able to collect that information. So what we're going to use is we're going to use an ask that we've used before. And we'll ask them to type a O ocean or D to choose desert and wait. So this is going to get the user to ask a question. So we'll just kind of run that and just see what it looks like. It's a little fast, I won't lie. So please type in O to choose the ocean or D to choose the desert. Perfect. So that's exactly what we want to do. So now what's going to happen is they're going to type an O or a D. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to use an if, then, else. So this is going to do one thing if the answer is one thing and something else if the answer is something else. So what we'll do is we'll then pick this operator right here. And so we're going to say if the answer, and if their first answer is, let's say here, the ocean. So what if they choose the ocean? We'll say if the answer is O, because that's what we said we want them to choose is an O. If the answer equals O, then, and so we're ready to go. So we said in our plan that when they pick O, we want to change the background to underwater 3. So now what we got to do is, go back to our stage. We're going to have to add a new backdrop to this one, and we're going to have to pick for the ocean. Let's find underwater 2. It's going to be down here. There, underwater 3. So now what happens is we've got underwater 3. Don't need this blank backdrop. We'll go back to our code here now. Mouse stopped working for a second there. So if the answer is O, then what we're going to do is we're going to do a broadcast to be able to change the background. So we're going to broadcast the message. We'll make this message called ocean. That is a logical broadcast. So we drop that in there. So now if the user answers O, we're going to broadcast the ocean. We need the background to change the ocean. So we go to the stage. You have the blue box around it. We're going to go, when I receive ocean, we are going to go to looks and switch backdrop to underwater 3. You will only be able to choose from the backdrops that you have already. So if you go here, you can only pick from the backdrops you have available to you. So when I receive ocean, switch to underwater 3. Now don't forget, when the user starts it, we're going to want to have that brick wall. So I'm going to also bring in a when if I clicked, looks, switch backdrop to, I'm going to switch our backdrop back to brick wall. So this will guarantee when the user clicks the flag, it goes back to the brick wall, just like we want. And when they receive ocean, we type the letter O now, it goes to ocean just like we wanted. And they click the flag, it goes back. So it's very important that you kind of reset things once you're done. So the next thing is, let's go back in here. So we broadcast ocean. Let's say something like, another say. We'll do a, wow, I love it under the sea. And then maybe we'll do another ask. Let's do a, would you like to swim or change colors? So there's what we're going to do in the ocean. So I'm going to slow down a little bit because I realized I've got the ocean and I've done some of the says, and I'm going to actually hold on to this one for after. So broadcast ocean, wow, I like it under the sea. So if we go to our story planner, wow, I love the I changed it up a bit there. So wait, before we go on this, let's code this side next. So we're going to code these instructions now. So what if they pick the desert? So this is where that code is going to go in for the desert. So if the answer is O, then they go into here. So now we're going to have to pick if they pick the letter D. So you're going to have to bring in another if, and you're actually designing something called an else if statement. So again, you're going to have to bring in an operator. You're going to have to pick the answer. And now you're going to have to say, so if the answer was O, we went to the ocean. And the other option is if the answer was D. So now you can do, if the answer is O, then go to the ocean. If the answer is D, then go to the desert. So what we're going to have to do is go to the backdrop. We only have these two backdrops, and we said that in our plan, I said that I would want to change the background to desert. So let's go and add a new backdrop. This time looking for the desert. Beautiful. So now we've got that added to our list of backdrops. I now bring in a broadcast. I make this broadcast desert. Look up how many S's are in desert to make sure I did that properly. So now we've got if the answer is O, ocean. If the answer is D, desert. Perfect. So now let's make sure that the background changes. So when I receive desert, switch backdrop to desert. So let's test that out. D, desert. Oops, let's just run that from the start to make sure it works. All right, so let's get them to go to the desert D. Perfect, that is working. So fantastic. So far in our story planner, we've done the opening introduction. We've asked if they want to go to the ocean or the desert. If they choose O, we've done that. If we choose D, we've done that. Now we're gonna add in more choices. And this is gonna get more complex as we add in more and more choices. So I'm gonna go back to my sprite. And I am going to ask them now, would you like to swim or change colors? And it's really important that you kind of just build this slowly. Don't try to build it all at once, but build this slowly as you go along. So would you like to swim or change colors? So we're going to bring in a sensing. We're going to ask, type S to swim, or C to change colors. Then underneath here, so now we're within the ocean, and we're going to ask a new question. We're not working in the desert area, we're working just in ocean right here. So type S to swim or C to change colors. And now we set it up really the exact same way. We know that they're going to give an answer. We're going to have to bring another if else. We're going to have to do an operator. And we're going to have to say, okay, so if their answer, there's answer. So if their answer is the letter S, and the nice thing about Scratch is even if you type a capital S here and they enter in a lowercase s over here, it's still going to work. So whether it's a capital or lowercase s that they enter here, it's going to match up capital or lowercase here. So you don't have to worry about that. So if the answer equals S, then, so to swim, what we're going to do is we'll get the sprite to kind of go backwards and forwards and backwards and forwards. So here we go. We will do, and I kind of said that right here. So sprite bounces around the screen. And I won't code in that because that's going to take a while, but we'll just kind of keep it simple. So we'll do a control, do a forever, do motion, move 10 steps, and if on edge, bounce. And because it's going to be moving around, we're going to want to restart at the very, very start where our sprite is. So right now while I'm in motion, I'm going to actually pick in a go to there, and that's going to be our starting location. So now we're moving our sprite around, and so this will guarantee that the sprite's kind of in that positioning and the right way. The other thing we'll do is we'll point a direction. I'll wait to that, and we'll see if we can get that to make sense when I drop that in. So now we've coded for what happens if they're an S. And if they answer a C, we need to do that next. So we need to bring in another if then. We bring the operator of an equal sign, an equity operator. So if their answer is C, oops. So if else if the answer is C, then we are going to do a forever. We'll make this really fun. Make it forever. And we'll do a looks. We'll change color effect by 25. We'll wait for a real quick little bit there. We'll make it like a real small bit of a second. And let's also, for fun, go to the next costume. I know for this guy it's kind of fun. And then we'll do another wait. All right. So there's, if they have S as a choice, that's what happens. And if they have C as a choice, that's what happens. Now we plug that in underneath our ask, and that's ready to go. So let's run it. Go to the ocean or desert. So to go down this path, we need to pick ocean to test this. So we pick O, I'll type in letter O, lowercase o. So we got to the ocean, or just swim or change colors. So let's pick swim to start. Now it bounces around. And this will just happen forever now because we never really made a way for this to stop. So if we click the flag now, he starts out upside down. And this might not be something that you really want. To fix this problem, if your character is upside down, I'm going to go to motion. Oh, wait, sorry. I'm going to go to looks. And you just go to, where is it there? Is it looks? I swore it was looks. It was motion. Sorry about that. There it is, point and direction 90 degrees, and that's going to flip your character back up. So I'm going to put that right at the start so it initializes that. So no matter what happens, your character will always be facing upright at the very start. So now we can test that again. What that block is doing and hiding in there. Here we go. So let's do ocean again, above it in C. So last time we tried the swim option. This time let's start the C option. So I'll type C. This is what happens if you get C. Now again, if you press the flag at the right time, the costume is going to be stuck. So we should also initialize the costume. So in looks, let's switch the costume to, and what costume is the first one? That's Ryan 1. So now we've initialized the direction the character is pointing in, the costume that's showing, and the location. That's much better with all those. So now we've coded all this. So we've coded ocean, the ocean choices of, I changed that to swimming instead of flying because it made more sense, and colors. So next let's do the desert choices of scorpion or a hike. So the next thing we'll do is we'll go down here. So for desert, next thing we'll bring in is, maybe we'll do a think for fun. I hope I get to see a hope I get to see a scorpion. So we broadcasted desert, we've changed to desert, and now we think I hope I get to see a scorpion for 2 seconds. Now let's trigger or start to get the choice happening. So say, would you like to pet a scorpion or go for a hike? Check that. I thought I hit an extra key there. All right, so say would I like to pet a scorpion, go for a hike? Now we need to ask. And let's say type S for scorpion, to pet a scorpion, or H to go for a hike. So now we've set up our broadcast, changes the background. We thought we hope to see the scorpion. We started that choice. Would you like to pet a scorpion, go for a hike? Now we've asked and given them instructions of what key to hit. So now in our plan, we've done this right here. Ask if they want to pet a scorpion, go for a hike. Set up the S and the H for their choices. And now we have to set up our ifs. So again, we now need to build all that if logic. So we then go to control, we look for if then else block. So the first thing we'll do is for the S. So if the answer is S, they want to pet a scorpion. And what do you think would happen if you pet a scorpion? Probably the scorpion would sting you. So we'll probably something like, say something like, ouch, that hurt. So we'd say, ouch, that hurt. Next thing we can do is let's broadcast. Make a new broadcast called Game Over. Okay. And we'll broadcast a Game Over. So that makes sense. So when Game Over gets broadcast, we need to think about that. So when broadcast gets done, let's load a new background. And this time I'm loading one up that I kind of had made, and I found this Game Over background on the internet. So this one is good. So now we go into the scripts, and now when we receive Game Over, we switch the background to Game Over. So now there's 3 different broadcasts that we're listening to. Now, do you think if we are getting Game Over to happen here, probably this guy should disappear so he's not interfering. So what we're going to do is we'll make a little broadcast within our sprite here. We'll have him listen for Game Over. So when I receive Game Over, and what should he do when he receives Game Over? Something really simple, hide. So if we're hiding him here, we need to remember to initialize him and make sure he's showing when the flag's clicked. If we don't do that, he's going to remain hidden if the user runs it again and again and again. All right, so now we've got the coding done for the petting a scorpion. Final thing we need to do is let's get him go for a hike. So else, let's do this this way. So we'll set, we're going to do a, and so unlike swimming, which we let him flip upside down, we're not going to let him flip upside down. What we're going to do is we'll bring in a forever. Let's go to motion, and then we'll move 10 steps. Let's set the rotation style. Where's that? There it is. Set rotation style instead of left, right. We're going to set it to, oops, I didn't want to do that. We're going to set the rotation style to left, right, and that's going to let him not turn upside down when he bounces off the sides. And we're also going to add in a if touching the edge bounce. So I made a mistake here, and I just realized it. That's if the answer is S, but we need to list or figure out that we need to bring another if here. We need to make it if answer. What was our other option there? So if the answer is S, then do this, else, and then if the answer is H. So if he's going to go for a hike, then pull in these, and maybe we'll make this fun. Let's just do a look, and we'll make him say, wow, I love the views. So there we go, and we'll then drop this in here, and then this all happens after or checks after this ask. So after that ask, that's where that if goes. So now you can test it out. Wonderful, he's showing, the Game Over's gone. So let's get him stung by a scorpion to start. So go to the desert to get the scorpion. Like to pet a scorpion, that should probably be a little bit longer, it's a bit quick. Let's make that 4 seconds and 3 seconds. So let's pet a scorpion, so S. Ouch, that hurt. Game Over, and he disappears. Fantastic. So press the green flag, reappears back to location. Good. So you have to go back to the desert to test the other one out to get this hike. And so hopefully he bounces side to side and keeps upright the whole time with that set rotation style left, right. H, and bounces side to side. Wow, I love the view. So as you keep going, you can continue to build more and more options within your Choose Your Adventure game. So your challenge with this activity is to build your own Choose Your Adventure game. Please make it creative, and you can make it more and more and more complex. Make sure to tag it with TLDSB code. I'm including a link to the story planner right here, and you can keep going. You don't have to just do that level there, but you can keep going beyond. And I will also provide a link to this activity that I have made as well in the YouTube description I will give. So good luck, and I hope you enjoy our last challenge. It's been awesome to work with everybody.